Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a coffee, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patrons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Smith Tools and Purchase, Level Plain Poem, Amish, Vitali Z, Colton James, BG, Survive the Spin, FE Patriot, On the Level, Thomas van der Zander, Gary Hughes, Measured Flat, Chris Wouters, Sea Level Cultist, Mitch Kennedy, Rod the Names Burley, Twodwazzle, Jason Hornsby, Christoph Fournier, Flat Earth Travolta, JMels24, Unimento, M926, Endless, Golden McKinnon, Retro Bill, Michael Kahn, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Hairy Blade, Mobile Max 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Yun Cat, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I will hand across to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
Yeah. Yep, we're here. And you're not too far away from me too. I'm from Maryland, so where are you at? Frederick, or are you up closer to DC?
I have no idea. I'm on Frederickson. Yeah. I'm on Buckystown Pike.
I'm actually
and
right around the corner.
Executive Way.
Yeah, you're around 81.
Yeah,
by
that's what I'm heading to now. I'm headed to get on 81.
Yep. Oh, I know exactly where you are. I'm about 5 minutes from there. Are you close to the Cracker Barrel?
We were right by the Comfort Inn where the Roadhouse is. Texas Roadhouse, the steakhouse.
Yeah, and there's a Regal or right across from you. Or it's an AMC theater. Oh, West Promenade View. Yep. Yeah, the last celebrity that was around here was Kanye West was around in this exactly this area.
Last celebrity, huh? How you like that, Nathan? I was asked to sign one of your books when it comes out, and I'm a celebrity.
That's not what was just said, Neil.
Hold on. I'm here, and then I was told the last celebrity that was here, so that means I'm a celebrity.
Yeah, I understand how you extracted it from that. I got that bit. No worries. I don't know why you've got a misapprehension that even I'm a celebrity, Neil. I'm not.
Nathan, stop being humble.
Not being humble, Neil. It's just reality.
Hold on. Give me the definition of a celebrity.
I don't know.
If you're known by a broad number of people, you're a celebrity to them. You were to me when I first got on the show. You could pull a tape back, and I was like in awe. I was speaking to Nathan Oakley. I found out you were a prick, and then everything's fine.
Yeah, everyone's just normal people. You put me up on a bit of a pedestal, that's you're bad. It doesn't make me a celebrity, though. It's no offense. No, certainly don't make you one.
Oh, see, that's where you're wrong now. I am a legend in my own mind.
Okay. And I'm quite content. As long as the bills keep getting paid, the YouTube channel at the moment is sustaining me. I'm quite happy. Don't need celebrity status. Having a small community that gets labelled as being cult-like by the opposers, in reality, is just good people. Like, yeah, that's fine by me. None of them are under any obligation from me. They want to be here and have supported me throughout the last 10 years, both financially and emotionally, and all those things that you need as a flurf, trying to put the information out to a hostile reciprocant.
Hey, come. Really have to bring that guy back up.
What, Omni? You want him back?
No,
The guy
no, I
just
was just wondering
monologues.
if
He
he
just
tapped
waits for you
out.
to be done. No, he was there hours after you guys left, so he'll probably be back later. That guy is like a one-man monologue. He just waits. He just stops for uh, whatever someone else is talking, and then he continues talking from whatever he left off. Just doesn't interact at all. He was giving you guys the silent treatment yesterday.
Yeah, every time he lost.
Where's the store?
To demonstrate his contradictory definitions, and you just exposed him right there. He would not. He had nothing to say after that.
Well, it's all well and good suggesting that you can fight bendy level. When it comes to it actually being practically applied to anything, there's nothing to suggest that in the real world there is no practical application, right?
Nope, just just utter nonsense. Yeah, it's like asking somebody who's like, "Go ahead and get me a married bachelor. Find me a married bachelor." He's like, "Oh, there is some," and like, "Go ahead. Who's a married bachelor?" Just
What,
Bunch
Neil?
of dolphins.
Dolphins? What are you talking about?
When the astronauts splashed down in the ocean, suddenly, could you call them a school of dolphin? I don't know. But a few dolphins came to greet them. And they make sure they say it how it happened on the news. So it makes it even seem more like divine, like, you know?
No, not really. I don't pay any attention to it, Neil. You've talked about nothing but for the last 4 days.
Because nobody's talking. Yeah, that silence in the pre-show, that would drive me nuts. When I was just a listener and I turned on the Uncut and After show and I didn't hear guys talking.
What say you guys in Discord? Neil, sick of the silence. Oh, my mate came.
It came?
Yeah, came this morning, and I set it up, and Eleanor did a video with it with the Minecraft stuff.
Wow, you must really be tired. You would usually be excited about that.
No, it's because I've been stressing about it for about 2 straight weeks while it was running around post offices not making it here. So when I finally tracked it down and then got it back to its original origin, for them to then put the number of my house on it and then send it back out again, it's finally got here, and all the excitement's drained out of me. I'm just tired now. I'm just like, oh, thank God it's finally got here. But that and the other one I've purchased I'm not too excited about them until they're actually doing what I want them to do. So the one for my daughter, I want to put a shotgun capsule on it that's about 10 centimeters long. I've got the price of Adam. He's already purchased it. It's just winging its way to him, and when he gets there, he'll post it on to me. But there's that, which until that's on, it's kind of doesn't do what I want it to do. It's just a smaller microphone in her face. You know what I mean? So it's kind of halfway there. I'm glad I've got it. And then the other one that I want to do voiceover with, Craig's got it and he's modifying it. But when I got there on Monday, he had a hell of a lot of stuff on his plate, like loads of work, actual work as opposed to me. So he'll probably do that next week, I would imagine, because he hasn't mentioned it to me. Imagine it's very low priority, which is fine, because it is. But that, again, isn't that exciting until it comes back modified. Then I'll be excited about using it. And then we've got the book later, and I know we're going to be working on that for several hours later.
Oh, we're doing a book today. Excellent.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. When I'm driving, I can, focus on listening to you guys. So it helps me. Glad. And we're making progress, correct?
Yeah, it's just exhausting.
Yeah, well, things like that, you know they weren't going to be easy. Once you got more eyes on it, you knew deep down inside what was going to happen.
What, that it would be an absolutely enormous undertaking and endless, and yeah. No, I didn't at all. I thought it would be a nice, easy way of generating a bit of revenue, keeping my head above water. That's what I thought it would be. Now, it's turned into something else, and that's fine. Because I've got, again, it always comes back to me having a good community. So I've had enough financial support to keep going. At one point, I even paid a couple of debts off. So I'm quite happy. But at some point, I do need that revenue stream to actually turn into one. So I'm elated that we're actually ploughing our way through the proofreading stage. But it isn't. It's just, what was it? What did we get hung up on yesterday? I can't even remember now.
Ah, shoot, it's on the tip of my freaking tongue. It is tedious, though, Nathan.
Perfection isn't easy to ascribe. It's the 80-20 rule, right? To get to 80% of what you need is easy. You can get 80% of the way there in almost no time at all. So, boshing out first, second, third draft, that was 80% of the book done in almost no time. Then you get to the actual nitty-gritty of tying it together, making every sentence flow perfectly, making sure all your citations are of a really high quality. And it just takes forever to polish it. So the attention to detail bit takes 80% of the time. So the 20%, the last 20% does take 80% of the time. Now you can just crap out a book. 80% is good enough. That's going to come under heavy criticism, isn't it? People find the cracks and there's 20%'s worth. They'll find them and then they'll ridicule for them. So we've got to do this if we want it to be a good product.
Find them? They're going to be looking for the cracks, Nathan. So if we send that baby out crack-proof, good luck, baby.
Yeah, well, it always was. It's just now, from a grammatical standpoint, got to be, as a book, it's got to be bulletproof as well, not just the information, which already was there as far as I'm concerned. Yes, we've put slightly better quality citations in, you could say. But I would say that it was pretty much there to begin with, wasn't it, Neil? The quality was already there.
Yes.
But for a flat earther, in other words, if you weren't that fussed about sentences rolling on with too many commas and things like that, no one's going to care about that, right?
Right. But not a flat earther. They're going to read the book to absorb the information.
Right. However, you do want a varying crowd, and I won't put a fine point on it, of varying intelligence levels to be able to get it. Now, don't get me wrong, you might have to read it through a couple of times. Some of it cannot be dumbed down. But for the most part, we have attempted to make it accessible to all intellect levels. Would you not agree, Neil? It's really hard, though.
Yes, the layman can pick it up and comprehend. Like you said, there'll be a few things that they may have to read over, but it's apprehendable.
Yeah, and there's a few words in there that make us sound like we're smelling our own farts, which is fine as well. I like that. Notice I made it we.
That's when Adam begins to wax in poetry with the corridors of apathy. Oh boy, he's good though.
That's fine. It needs a bit of that. Sometimes, you've got to make it interesting, an interesting read. Going through the flat earth proofs and prerequisites and globe debunkings and their arguments and the counter arguments is all well and good. You do need it to flow like poetry in some places to keep the reader interested in reading it. So it does need that aspect of flair that Adam's been adding. And then when we sort of laugh and go, oh, we're using these words so that we sound like we're sniffing our own farts. Not true. Just makes it a more, I don't know, pleasant read. We'll see. 3 chapters down, 10 more to go.
So what are you thinking? By summertime?
I don't know. Last time I said by Easter. I think we're ploughing our way through it a lot quicker now. Like yesterday, we were saying that we're becoming that much more efficient as time rolled on. And I'd said that at the beginning. When you first start doing it, it's a hodgepodge of everyone shouting at each other and just trying to get it read off the pages hard enough. By the end, we're a well-oiled machine. Like, no, why couldn't we have been a well-oiled machine at the beginning? And you're like, don't work like that. Yeah, we're ploughing our way. We're ploughing ahead at a rate. Yesterday was frustrating because there was a lot of sort of Adam looking for a description of something while QE is looking for a citation, and then it all grinds to a halt. Everyone sort of sat around. Platsy's like, well, my husband would prefer if I wasn't just sat here. And I'm like, I wanted to just carry on. Let's keep going and proofreading, but we can't because we're waiting to actually address something in the text there and then. And this is what we do. This is the purpose of us doing it at the moment, right? To get each bit done. It's not like, oh, we'll come back to it later. Now we'll go through it and read it through again. But my point is that this is the stage where we tie up those loose ends. say it's the 80-20 rule. The 20% takes 80% of the time. On the other hand, I suppose if it's got a fairly high price value, like ticket value on the book itself, people want to know that we've sweated a bit of blood if it's got a high value. Like if it's over, say, $20, I would see that as an expensive book. Now, anybody else views it probably way out of touch with what costs a lot of money and what doesn't. But if let's say it's more than $20, I'd go, well, that's a fair chunk of money for a book. Therefore, it better be bloody good. I want value out of this if it's costing more than $20. Yeah, now we're joking when we say it's going to cost $39.59. Let's say it did cost $39.59. That's a really expensive book in my view. Wouldn't you agree? Yes, Nathan.
Yeah, but it's a good price. I think that's a good price.
Yeah, you think it's a good price because you've worked on it and you've seen how much blood, sweat, and tears and time has gone into it, refining it, and the
I see
information
where you're
itself.
going.
But I'm just saying, you'd expect it to be very well rounded, very well refined, and very well written if you're going to part with $40. So somebody listening to this now, us talking about it, for instance, Neil, you'd kind of go, yeah, well, I was kind of on the fence. I might have bought it. But then I found out it was going to be $39.59. I'm like, sod that. I'm not spending $40 on it. But now I know that you're physically exhausted and it's been a mental drain. I can see why that might actually have more value than I first thought. There's been a lot of work that went into the book. And that's absolutely true. And moreover, there's been a lot of man hours collectively that have gone into making the book. So it's been a long process. It's taken a long period of time to actually produce it. Lots of people have worked on it. So therefore, whatever price it is, it will be good value. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it'll be $100 book. It's not that good. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, no matter what, I think it'll be perceived as expensive, no matter what ticket value we put on it. Unless it's $5, people will see it as expensive, no matter what we charge. We again.
Yeah, that's good.
Right, so it's got to be good. Yes, Neil.
I'm saying I think we should have been recording. Every time sat down to do the book, you should have been recording it. Just hold on.
Too many hours. Too many hours. Every session is, when we finish the show, what is it? 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 6 hours each session, sometimes 7. It's too many hours of endless silences, and you're going to go and look that up. And just, I don't know, it's just, it doesn't make for good viewing. The end product in that regard is the book, not the process of making it. And I did, when it was total chaos, I did record some of them.
I'm traveling through mountains, so you're going in and out. Yeah, no, I'm saying recording for our own. A lot of funny things happen.
Maybe. I didn't see it as a worthy endeavour to record them.
Sometimes
after
I
the
wish
first
they were.
couple. I get that you're breaking up. I am literally exhausted, though. Almost tempted to cancel today's show. I'm that tired. Where the hell is everybody, anyway? It's an hour later for the Americans. There's D-Rose. Hey, D.
What's up? What's up? Good morning, good afternoon.
Sky.
Are we sure that's up?
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's up for us.
Our they say the cortex actually switches things upside down like a camera. So are we living in a world that's upside down actually? And we're just seeing it upright?
No.
More questions.
No, we're not.
on the next episode. Yeah, man, your daughter looks just like you, the one that was playing the game. And she's doing the intro. Today I'm playing Minecraft, and I've changed my avatar. I was like, and I looked, I said, oh my gosh, she looks just like me. That's your twin. Neil, I know the show starts at 10. I was just asking in advance because I'm doing visual field tests today, and I have more of that opportunity to be able to kind of listen in silence while I do these tests in the dark by myself in this room with a patient. So that's why I was asking ahead of time.
I'll just show my audience what you were talking about, D.
When to start?
By yourself in a room with a patient. I got you.
Hello,
Yeah, with no other
gamers,
text.
It's Game and all. Today we're playing Minecraft. So
The reason I'm doing this is to show off this. So this is what came today. So this is a Shaw 412 gooseneck with a 185 cardioid capsule on it. And I've got Adam, price of Adam, getting me a shotgun capsule, which is about 10 centimeters long, which will mean I can set it behind her monitor out of her way. So on her video, this thing's like, it's just massive and it's in shot. Even though it's tiny, it's a 1 centimeter capsule. It still looks massive in the picture. But like I say, once Adam sends the capsule that he's got for it, this will be completely out of the way. Now, over the last, week or 10 days, I've been learning how to use this mic that I've just got. Therefore, I've had it in frame in the picture just because I want it relatively close to me to learn how it sounds.
Do you mind sharing it in your on your screen, or is it in Master B? What are you talking about?
That video that you watched of my daughter playing
Oh,
Minecraft.
okay. That's the mic you picked her up. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. That's the Shure 412 gooseneck with a 185 cardioid capsule. But I'm swapping it for a 189 capsule, which is a long tube like I use. So it means that she can have it literally completely out of her way. It's not in her shot, and I don't know. I don't
Almost
like mics in camera shot.
Yeah, almost like those boom mics that they have overhead when they're doing
Yeah,
live. Yeah,
exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah, so the price of Adam's bought me a miniature version. So it's a capsule that goes on the end of this gooseneck that's about 10 centimeters long. And that'll mean that I can get it a couple of feet away from her, which is basically behind her monitor. And then it won't be in shot anymore, and it won't be in her way, and she won't put a plosive down it because it's far enough away to not have that affect it. All the nice juicy bonuses of having a shotgun mic she can have on a little tiny micro setup, which will be out of frame. So, but that will be complete once Adam, the price of Adam, gets me that capsule from the States. He's ordered it and will post it to me.
Speaking of those type of overhead microphones, you could tell a B list from an A list production of a film when you see the shadow of the boom mic drifting to the scene. It's ridiculous.
That's not so much a problem anymore because a lot of times they, like in years gone by, they would front light everything. So that was a real problem, wasn't it? Boom mics have to not only try and capture the sound and keep out of frame, but watch their shadows. Whereas these days, that's not so much a problem because they will actually backlight with LEDs now. So it's less of a problem.
You'd be surprised. Films you see on T-Boo, or on even Prime Video, those F-list films, we catch it all the time. My wife is
I say it all the time.
analytical.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't spot it. My wife hates me. I ruin every single production she ever watches ever because I point out.
You're like my wife, and I'm like your wife. I'm like, I hate that. Just don't worry about that. Just enjoy the premise and the plot and the dialogue.
Yeah, I'll be like, they overdubbed that. Yeah, they didn't catch that in the moment. That's been done in the studio afterwards. You can tell there's a tonal difference. Now, most people are watching it on their telly or their iPad or their phone, right? Me, I'm watching it on about 20 grand's worth of speakers. I can hear exactly what's going on. So when someone's changed mic, I hear it and I point it out. It just ruins the film, or ruins the production. But yeah, you see shadows from boom mics all the time. Most of the time in TV shows, right? Because they're doing it quickly.
I was gonna say. Oh, go ahead. But
I was just saying that
I'm noting,
they're doing it quickly in TV shows, so they've got to crap them out quite quick. So worrying about shadows from boom mics, they don't necessarily, catch them all. Whereas the boom mic in shot, they'll definitely catch. You very rarely see a boom mic, if ever.
Yep. And now with the more high definition 8K filming with these 4K televisions, with these new TVs from Samsung and everything. Like I used to have a Roku. I had 3 Rokus, 75, a 65, and a 55. And now I have an 85 Samsung. So the Samsung is like this new HD, and it makes these films, even of old, look like they're plays, like live plays, or the way when soap operas used to look different from the way a higher production series on television will look. And now it's kind of making things look cheesy, at least in my analytical wife's mind, like you are. You can see the green, blue screen room more so that in their background. It's it's almost like it went against the grain for what they were trying to do. They were trying to enhance, but then they were also exposing their flaws. They need to catch up.
Yeah, practical effects are just better, especially miniatures. So, Star Wars miniatures, you don't get any better than that. Red Dwarf was the same. They just used miniatures, and it was incredibly convincing. Whereas now, it's just not the same. CGI is not as good as practical effects, in my opinion.
No,
there we go.
Good morning, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
How's it going? We've got 10 minutes. I need coffee. Hopefully you can chat amongst yourselves, because I will fall asleep in the live show if I don't get a coffee in me. I'm back in 5. Please chit chat.
What's good?
He said chit chat, and all I hear is silence. I'm driving, guys. Let's go.
What up, Price of Adam?
What's up, D Rose? What's up, Chocolate Neil? How's the drive going, Neil?
Going good. I'm in Virginia now.
What up, Chocolate saying?
You where?
What's good, fellas?
Wait, did I hear you just say, "What's good, fellas"? I like that.
Classic gangster movie.
I've always said that.
Because it's all
I
good.
never heard you say that. What's up, good? I never heard you say, "What's good, fellas."
Really?
Well, every time
That's
I say
weird.
what's up, somebody got to answer some stupid ass question. The sky.
That's Nathan.
So say what's down, and then they could say everything goes down. Everything, even gas. Boom, boom, splash, splash.
So, who's the blurf girth that was showing the doctored Photoshop level with the curve on it in the picture that someone shared? Me and Michael Kahn were talking about it, and there's supposed to be some Mac tool, which is a virtual application tool that's supposed to be able to make curve levels. That doesn't even sound right. That's like saying making fat, skinny girls.
I'll take 2. And I think it was Omnivore yesterday who shared that, if I'm not wrong.
But that was doctored, right? That was a Photoshop manipulated, like, jab at that guy. He wasn't actually holding up something. I mean, they were jabbing at him. I don't even know if that guy was a globe person or a anti-globe or a flat earth person, but
I might
it
be
was like
thinking about something different, to be honest.
It's on the Master B. It was it was on it's in the Master B thread. I don't know if it's in the Discord thread, but I'll pop it over there. I'm gonna transfer it over there. You can see what I'm talking about.
I'm sitting here looking through Skype, and I'm realizing that silence is, not always golden.
Someone asked me what's up.
What's up?
Price of eggs.
That's true. Gas went down, though. That's nice.
Well, just for a little bit. It doesn't bother me. I raise my own chickens, so I'll eat about a half a dozen eggs a day and listen to people complain about the price of eggs, and just got to get your own chickens.
I love eggs. The kid's allergic to them, so I don't get them too much, but I love eggs.
All right, look in
Have you
Discord
tried
now. I just sent it.
Yeah. Have you tried giving them or getting them farm fresh eggs as opposed to store bought eggs?
Yeah, we used to have chickens and ducks and stuff back when I was younger.
And well, I mean, do your kid? If your kids are allergic to eggs, sometimes it's like with milk. People allergic to milk. It's really just they're allergic to processed, homogenized, diluted factory milk. You give them, fresh cow milk or better yet, goat milk, and it's a whole new story with them.
I'm looking in this in Discord, and I don't know that guy, Koizel.
Who? Koizel?
I'm looking at Dr. Koziel or something like that. Heroes just put it up in Discord.
Yeah, I put up the one that was in Master B. Then I actually screenshot and cropped it and then sent it back by itself. So you can see and zoom in and see that the glass part is leveled. The water's leveled, but the thing looks like a banana.
How are you? How are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
I'm all right. I'm actually really knackered. So I've been mucking around buying microphones to do certain tasks, and I've finally come to a close almost. I've got 2 little tasks to finish off. Then I can finally, other than flogging the ones I don't need, put microphones behind me, which I'm sure a lot of you in the audience will be pleased to hear because I've been waffling about mics for quite some time. But my most recent edition arrived today, which I was literally losing sleep over because it was stressful because it got lost in the post. And by lost, I mean it just never got addressed correctly. So tracking it down and getting it back to the sender so they could put the number of the house on to get it posted out to finally arrive almost 2 weeks later. So I ordered it 2 weeks ago tomorrow. But anyway, it's finally arrived. I finally stuck it in front of my daughter, which I've been promising her for 2 straight weeks. And she was very pleased when she recorded her live stream with it, albeit with it in her face like the old mic, just a lot smaller. But that's also going to change with Adam, who is on the panel at the moment, who's buying me a shotgun capsule for it. That, along with my voiceover mic, which may end up being what gets used to narrate the book, being modified by Craig at Click OK, but he's got a lot of work on, so he hasn't actually done it yet. So, well, I would assume he hasn't done it yet because he hasn't contacted me. But I don't want to pester him if he's got lots of stuff on his plate when my mic modification is very low priority for both him and me. But it is something I would like to draw a conclusion to, and almost have now. I've got my hands on the physical mic for my daughter. That was something that was kind of pressing heavy on me, having told her what I was going to be providing her. Now that I've managed to get a system that works well and saves me time when I'm making edited videos. That is to say, the little preamp will record in mono on iMovie, because if it doesn't save me time laying down separate audio tracks and then marrying them together with video tracks and edited video. I don't want to do any of that. That's too laborious. It takes too much time. So now I've figured a system where a good microphone can go straight into a little box that goes straight into the iPad and then straight onto whatever video I'm editing and comes out of both speakers for the end user. So now I've overcome that. Like I say, wanted to put together a nice overdub or voiceover, whatever you want to call it, separate system to my live stream system, which is what you're hearing me on now. So there we go. So that's all been done now. And once everything's flogged, that's to say, once everything that I've got on eBay sold, it will have hopefully cost me almost nothing to have upgraded the microphone for the live stream, upgraded the desk that the live stream uses, added a separate live stream microphone for my eldest daughter to use on her videos about Minecraft, added a separate suspension mount and arm and base and microphone for doing voiceovers on videos, which I had been doing along the process. So you may have heard a couple of recent edited videos that sound okay, because I've been using interim microphones as I'm figuring out how to get this stuff to work. But in essence, what I'm doing is upping my YouTube game, knowing that there's going to be potential for interviews that people will want me to do, and I need to be able to have the ability to maybe set up my iPad in a pinch and have it still sound good if I'm not in this very seat in an acoustically treated room, but still be able to do a decent job of sounding nice on a podcast in a pinch on my iPad and power a decent mic, for instance, that's little and portable, or do a voiceover for the book, or, you know, do an advert. Whatever it is I need to be able to do that requires audio, I want it to be of the highest quality from here forward, now that everyone else has put in so much effort into my book. It's kind of my way of saying, well, I take it as seriously as everyone around me is taking it on my behalf. And that does, in some ways, require a financial investment. And given that I've got a very good community of support that's given me the ability to have a tiny amount of float, that's to say a little bit of cash to be able to start buying stuff and then selling the old stuff on eBay, but without a desperate need to immediately get it sold for pennies because I desperately need the money. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not in some financial wonderful position to be able to just buy anything I like. I've still got to be able to buy and sell and flog stuff that I don't use to be able to pay the bills. But it's nice that I can do that, and I am very, very grateful. Life's good. It's just exhausting. So that, along with doing the book, is wearing hard. So I was saying this in the pre-show, actually. When the book does come out, if it's not $5, it's going to be considered expensive. It doesn't matter if it's $100, $50, $39.59, as we've suggested, or $20. It will not matter. It will be viewed as expensive. Therefore, the audience, that's the person purchasing it, if they're receiving this is a potential advert, will want to know that they're going to get exceptional value out of it. Like anything, no one wants to part with money and feel like they haven't got good value. So, in a way, sort of sweating blood over getting it done, taking it very seriously, not taking our time, although it has taken a long time. We haven't taken our time with it, I wouldn't have said. You know, we've been putting as much effort into this book. Every time we've done it, we've taken it as seriously and put as much effort and passion into it as could be put into it. So it's not like we're taking our time. It's just taking a long time to do and do well and do right. So yeah, it's one of them. I think it'll justify whatever price it ends up being, without doubt. So that just means I'm knackered though. So that was the whole reason of explaining all of that, mics and books and general work. It's all gearing up towards hopefully giving me a slightly easier life in terms of not struggling quite as much as I have been over the last 10 years whilst doing flat earth videos and not growing at a rate that would be conducive with any other YouTuber on YouTube. And again, thank you to the community that have kept me here for 10 years. With a tiny, tiny little YouTube channel, I've managed to keep my mortgage paid, keep my rent paid, if you will, for 10 years. That is some amazing, astonishing feat, and only testament to the community around me. Because it's certainly, as I say many, many, many times, not down to the YouTube ad revenue. That's for damn sure. I mean, it's nice when I get it, don't get me wrong, but it isn't that keeps me going. It's the community support, it's the PayPal donations, it's the patronage, it's the memberships, it's all of that keeps me going. Anyway.
And you share that community too.
Oh, what, that community, Neil?
And you share that community when someone is in need. It's a great community.
I don't really know how you can share a community. What do you mean?
Well, by saying, hey, Neil just wrecked his car. He's the only breadwinner. Send them money. And they respond because it's a great community.
Well, they're one and the same thing. It's not. That's not me sharing a community. That just is the community. You're part of that community, Neil. So it's not like it's my community and you can have a bit of it. You're part of a community, and that community is very generous.
The community that let me rephrase the community that you built by having consistency, consistent shows.
Yeah, and consistency and being on time is something that a lot of people do appreciate. People are creatures of habit, right? So having the daily shows at the same time, consistently coming out. I know we're in a shift in summer to winter time at the moment, but that aside, it's a consistent, it's always on at whatever time it is where you are. And on the weekends, there's typically always an Uncut and After show coming out on my second channel. I didn't do the plug for that yesterday. How many people are watching? Less than 50. Oh, yeah, because we've only just started. When it gets up to 200 people watching, I'll do a proper plug for my second channel. Because a couple of times recently, people have come, admittedly, Globe believers, so kind of who cares, but saying, oh, you put your shows behind a paywall. You're like, yeah, I do, yeah, I'll give it, the members get to hear today's absolutely boring as hell pre-show with endless stony silences. They get to hear that and pay for it. Isn't that wonderful? But they also, you know, get to see it for free if they want to wait maybe 2 or 3 weeks on the second channel. Obviously, it's not as subscribed to as the main channel, but, you know, people are like, oh, it's behind a paywall. Well, yeah, it is temporarily, but for a couple of weeks, just to give value to the people who do actually give me money from memberships. But eventually it'll make its way, and it's not like occasionally you are missing out on a really good discussion, and typically if there's a really good banger of a discussion or debate, I'll trim it out anyway and publish it in a short video, right? 10-minute, 20-minute, whatever it may be. In fact, I did that recently, did I not? I'm sure I put out a video recently that was 10 or so minutes long.
By the way, Nathan, while I got you talking about the community, guy Christian Zekas was banned from 1980. Did you straighten that out?
Somebody else asked me about that. Is Christian? Who's Christian?
Christian Zekas, CC. He's always
Oh, that's CC. How would he be banned? Oh, okay, fine. I'll look into it. I'll do that now. If people talk.
Thank you.
If they don't, tough luck. We're going to have extended, protracted silences in the live show, I guess.
Well, you don't have to do it now, but when you get a chance, look into it. I sent you a couple of messages, but I know you're busy.
This is the chance.
Then get it done.
Also, shout out to Jardo, who's obviously got very good ears. He was like, you've got something not quite right in your mid-range. or he said eat over egg the pudding was like, you've got no mid-range, which is obviously a massive exaggeration. And when I was EQing the mic, the way I EQ a mic is just pick a different mic that I like the sound of, and you just try and match it right. That's what EQ is, equalization. Anyway, that's what I did. So I picked out some old vintage Neumann and just matched the contours of this mic to that mic, right? And followed the graph. Now, that particular old mic that I picked did have a very rolled off bass and mid range. It rolls off into the mid frequencies, but we're talking about proper subtle stuff, right? Couple of dB roll off. And I'd put it in, and you just don't think anything about it. And then Jardot was like, there's something wrong in your mid range. So I'm like, nah, really? So I went into my EQ, checked it out, and I'm like, oh yeah, I did roll them off. I forgot. I just wanted to contour the whole bottom end of the frequency response to match the whatever it was, U47 or something. And you just try and match it and don't think anything beyond it. So for him to spot that, Jardot that is, you're like, bloody hell, good ears. Because I hadn't given it a second thought.
We could be more milky.
Be more milky. You're going to start giving us a load of audiophile terms that mean nothing.
Well, I mean, I am a singer, and I did EQ my own voice, and I do hate the metal sound. And
that means nothing.
What I
metal
hear.
Sound. Right, there are only 4 words that mean anything if you want to use words as opposed to frequencies to describe sound, right? There's brighter and darker. Brighter means more top end, more treble, more shrill. Yeah? Darker means less treble, less shrill. Yeah? Then there's fatter and thinner. Fatter, more bottom end, more bass, more boom and bloom. Thinner, less bass, more rolled off bottom end. Those 4 words are it. When people say it's creamy, piss off, you pretentious idiot. Creamy doesn't mean anything.
Less treble then. Whichever you want.
Darker. Yes, darker, brighter, thinner, fatter. Those are words I can just about cope with. But give it me in frequencies, there's too much 200k. I can cope with that.
Oh, well, I haven't mixed anything in a long time, so I won't be able to do that. But I'll get back to you.
No, fair enough. Neither do I. I'm not a mixing engineer, but I know enough about it to know what they do. And it's not a skill I possess because I'm not doing it all day, every day. But I've watched enough engineers work and they just have an ear for it. They'll listen to a vocalist and go, yeah, it's kind of a bit nasally. And they'll just go straight to 800, 900k. And they'll sweep along that sort of very limited range and go, yeah, there it is. And then they'll just drag it out with EQ. But unless you know what frequency you're hearing that's wrong in, I don't know, a guitar recording, you don't know where to go and pick out the EQ. Now, a novice who knows how to find the frequencies might spend 10 minutes looking up and down the frequency band to find that nasty honk noise that he can't quite reconcile in his ears. He doesn't like it. Well, it's just a slow process for an amateur. And that's not me. I'm a definite amateur. I don't know. I wouldn't know how to do it. I know how to do it. I just wouldn't do it quickly or easily. Anyway, I love this conversation. This has been fun. I was going to cancel today's show just due to exhaustion, because it's one of them. You look on the even yesterday. I looked back at the intro and I'm like, my God, I look stoned. I look like Witsit. Remember when he came on and he'd obviously been smoking weed? I look like that, and I'm like, man, if I'm looking like Witsit when he's high as a kite, I must be exhausted. And again today, it's like I'm starting to slur my words. It's like I'm on the point of exhaustion. I just know I am.
To be fair, Witcher did say that he was exhausted.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know if you want me to have confirmation bias here, but if all things being equal, either you're smoking or y'all was tired, or I don't know.
I need to do a bong sound effect. Oh man, nah, I don't know what you're talking about. Is that close enough? No, not good enough bong sound effect.
That was decent.
It was all right. I thought I did well. Anyway, right. So yeah, I was going to cancel today's show and just get some rest because I'm absolutely knackered. and snapping at my wife when she walked in just before I went live. I'm like, really? Now? Really? So she's getting me snapping at her. I'm slurring my words, looking exhausted. So yeah, we'll round out at the hour mark. There'll be no after show, and then we're launching into the book anyway. So it'll be a short show today.
How about a bit of housekeeping?
Housekeeping at the 18-minute mark. Okay. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere-edge horizon, formerly known as the curve of the Earth?
We've been told that the Earth is too big to measure the curvature. So, nope.
So how do we measure it?
On how boats going over the horizon?
What's the horizon?
Ask the same people who tell you that it's too big to measure the curve.
So we'll measure it how then? If it's too big to be measuring curve, we measure it
flat.
Yeah, everyone measures it flat. Earth, that is. Earth's flat. That's how it's measured for everyone. There are no exceptions. I'll give you an example. You can't unhear this stuff, right? So once you know all roads lead to a flat Earth, whenever you hear some fundamentalist globe-believing zealot asserting their globe belief will be affirmed by, in this example, going up with a hot air balloon, you go, okay, up, what, perpendicular to a plane? You don't have that on a ball. Don't have up, you have out. So don't use up if you're going to describe how your balloon leaves the ground. That will require a flat Earth. How are you going to describe its height? With respect to sea level, dum-bum? Yeah, you'll need a flat Earth for that too, won't you? So why would it be the case that idiots like Creaky Blinder, affirmed by Will Duffy, would be sending a balloon up to what, put an end to this for good? By using flat Earth measurements off surface level. That'd be sea level. For elevations. These idiots always measure a flat Earth to suggest that they're going to put an end to flat Earth. I'm going to put an end to this flat Earth thing. I'm going to send a balloon up and measure how high it is off a flat Earth. Use a direction that's only capable of description with a flat Earth prerequisite that's up, perpendicular to the plane of reference that I'll be describing its height from, sea level. So I'll need quite a few flat Earth prerequisites to put an end to this flat Earth thing. Maybe Dickhead Creaky Blinder could call it an experiment too. What a bunch of idiots. Shout out to Fisherman in a Box, who made me aware of this. He was in our comments from yesterday's live show, and he's like, Will Duffy's at it again. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not Mr. Current Affairs. I have no idea what Will Duffy's up to it again means. And then I went to his channel and had a look at Fisherman in a Box's most recent video, which I was on the thumbnail for. But in essence, yeah, Creaky Blinders sending a balloon up, and Will Duffy's all behind him because it's the final experiment.
Final excretion.
Wait a second. The final experiment. But I thought, according to them, science doesn't prove anything.
Well, when they're suggesting that science doesn't prove anything, they've got plenty of experimental data that will require flat planes of reference, like elevation angles to the sun above a flat plane for 24 hours. So saith the angles they measured with respect to a flat plane for the sun's elevation angles. Down in Antarctica? What, by antipodal assumption? No, I'm thinking they travelled south with respect to a plane, because that's what south is. Maybe look at a compass before you tell us that you've gone south, and then realise how flat and two-dimensional that compass is. Like the maps that you will have used, and the elevation of the plane when travelling across the surface that's flat, when in level flight, to go south, to measure angles to the sun with respect to a plane, elevation angles. Yeah, these idiot numpties think they're going to put an end to a flat Earth with an experiment, which it isn't, that is in actual fact measurements of a flat Earth. And they're at it again with Creaky Blinder out there measuring heights off surfaces that could only be flat to describe how high you go up from them. Oh my God. I'm looking forward to yelling at Creaky. Don't use our measurements, Creaky. You're going to bleed an ear about it if I hear how high this, whatever it is you're sending up, is, because that will be off sea level. And you're not going to get to use our measurements, dickhead, creaky blinder. You're going to get yelled at. Yeah? Not going to get to use our measurements. It's not going to happen. We're going to be calling you out for your use of a flat earth. And then embarrassing you for the facts you require to assert that you're going to put a stop to this flat earth thing. What, with flat earth measurements? You bunch of idiots. You're going to be hearing about it from me. Anybody else hear about this? Did anybody else catch Fisherman in a Box? Or indeed Creaky / Duffy?
No, but Fisherman in a Box is ace. Everybody should subscribe.
I wholeheartedly agree. Fisherman in a Box is very, very entertaining. Now, he introduces himself as the critical Christian crowd, which I don't get because, as admittedly, has the odd Bible reference in there, but it's not like he's focused very much on Christianity. Now, I'm not saying that as a negative thing. I'm not saying, oh, how dare you call yourself a Christian when you're hardly talking about it. It's just, I don't know, that if you are a newbie and not a Christian and went to his channel, that might put you off. And it's like, no, don't get the wrong impression when he's talking about being part of the critical Christian crowd. He doesn't seem to do any critical Christian stuff. Not that I can tell of. Maybe I'm missing something.
He does. He's criticizing the Christians that are staying in this heliocentric nonsense and not addressing what's being addressed here at Flat Earth.
Yes, indeedy. I'll bring it up as Divergent Droid has just gone and dig out the link. I may as well utilise it. Thank you very much indeed, Divergent Droid. So as I say, this is most recent endeavour with me on the front of the thumbnail. But I'll go through it as I was trying to find it on Creaky's channel. I won't lie, just before we went live. Probably why I snapped at my wife, because I was doing 3 things at once and I couldn't find what he was referencing. So we'll just go over it from Fisherman in a Box himself.
To show curve.
You're in a religion where you think you're on a ball flying around the sun.
Huh?
You're in the one world religion of heliocentrism. So in your school, they taught you were on a ball going around the sun.
Yeah, but is it like episode 3 or episode 4? I'm afraid I'm not sure. We're both just lost here, aren't we?
Channel that most of you are probably already familiar with, called The Creaky Blinder Show. Creaky has over 100,000 subscribers, and he has recently announced Project Curve. Curve stands for Creaky's Unmanned Research Vehicle Experiment.
Oh yeah. So basically, I'm just taking you with me to this top secret location so that we can meet up with the guy who is helping me with Project Curve and is going to help me send a weather balloon with a camera up to...
You don't get to use our measurements, you stupid batshit insane idiot. Do you mean up? You don't have an up on a ball. Where are you getting up from, you utter clown? Stop using our flat earth measurements, you creaky crackhead. You don't get to be up. You get to be out. Or in, with respect to a ball. Where are you getting up from, you stupid dickhead? Yeah, I'm going to enjoy telling off these dickheads. 100,000 subscribers, what, by using flat earth measurements of up? You don't have up, dickhead!
To somewhere between 30 and 40 kilometers.
What, off a flat plane, dickhead? 30 to 40 kilometers off sea level? Is that what he's talking about? Yeah, you don't get to use flat earth measurements of height. Elevations are off sea level. Flat earth only. You don't get to use those, you stupid dickhead. You're not going to send a balloon up and then tell us how high it is off a flat earth to suggest that it's showing you curve. What, a frickin' horizon? Go look up the definition, dickhead. Your horizon was debunked as Earth curve in 2020. If the horizon was the geometric sphere edge that you think it is, then the distance measurement could be no more than 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. The distance laid down in your Earth curve maths that also requires Earth be a plane. It's labelled as surface level, you stupid dick. Learn your own maths, Creaky. You'll need a flat earth for it, you stupid numpty.
Film the globe, Earth, and shut flat earthers up once a...
What, with flat earth measurements of sea level, you stupid crackhead? You think you just shut me up? I'm yelling at you, you dumbass. Yelling at you not to use our measurements. Are you insane? Did you think this was going to shut me up? I'm calling you a crackhead based on your use of flat earth measurements. You're describing your height of sea level. Shut me up. It's going to get me yelling at you and calling you a crackhead. You delusional numpty.
And for all.
Not once and for all, mate. I'll be yelling at this at you till the day you die if you remain in this arena. Oh, Creaky crackhead, the one that said he'd shut flat earthers up with a height of a flat earth? Oh, really, dum-dum? No, mate, you're never going to live it down. You're not going to shut me up with flat earth measurements, you unbelievable spastic.
In the spirit of TFE, I reached out to Creaky and let him know
that he could measure a flat earth like you dickheads did in Antarctica with your elevation angles to the sun off a flat earth, dum-dum. Was it final, or was it also proving Earth got measured flat in Antarctica? No, definitely wasn't final, or you wouldn't be here! Another crackpot idiot! How final was it, dum-dum? You're still here! Did it shut me up, or am I yelling at you too, you stupid insane man? There was nothing final about measuring Earth flat with angles to the sun. You stupid Dumbo.
that I think it would be good to involve flat earthers in Project Curve.
Oh, well, you can. You're using our measurements, you stupid dick. You're involving us by measuring Earth flat. Yeah, you don't need me there for that, clearly. I didn't need to be in Antarctica for you and Toon and every other idiot there to measure a flat Earth with angles to the sun. That's two straight lines. One of them weren't bent, you stupid clown. I didn't need to be there to rub your flat Earth measurements right back in your face, Duffy. This isn't shutting down Jack. You understand? You might get the shills like Jaren to turncoat, probably because he's in some financial strife and is being blackmailed. Let's just ham it up as the bullshit nonsense that all of the other idiots around us need to lean into. No, I'll just lean into your flat Earth measurements, because that's all I need. Don't need to be in Antarctica with invitations that I've never responded to. No, Duffy, you don't need to lie about things I've turned down that I haven't even spoken to you about. You don't need to lie. I'll take your actual measurements of the Earth and show how flat you measured it. Maybe that'll shut me down forever, right, Creaky? Maybe if you tell me how high things are off sea level, I'll be shut down forever. Or I'll call you a crackhead. Got a super chat. I'll rein it in to read it out. Shout out to FE Patriot. It's been a while. The globe is pure imagination. If you want to view paradise. Thank you for the super chat. Yes.
Real briefly, I just don't want to sidetrack. It's based on the use of the term experiment. I want to reiterate this again. I've said this before. Until the day that we hear anyone on television, on the radio, on the podcast, yada, yada, says that scientists have, scientists are, scientists will, and scientists shall empirically prove or disprove this and that. I don't think that just like the antecedent of this globe calculation requires the flat earth as being the prerequisite, I don't think that no one is allowed. Now, we can't stop the ones on television, but the ones on here, don't ever say the word experiment again when we're discussing the earth, ever again.
Yeah, you're a fraud,
Because,
Creaky. Using this word, experiment. Yeah, it's not. What you're doing is describing how something's going to be off a flat plane to describe a point in the distance debunked with the black swan as being a physical limitation based on also measuring a flat plane. Parallel surface level and eye level is required for you to assert the horizons of physical geometric sphere edge below surface level in your own maths. Yeah, that was debunked 5 years ago. Meanwhile, Dickhead's going to send up a balloon, is he, and measure how high it is off a flat plane? Up! A word he can't use on a globe surface he fantasizes about being on when deriving a globe from flat Earth measurements also. Yeah, this is riddled with idiocy. He thinks it's going to shut us up and it's an experiment. These people are frauds.
If somebody wanted to show you a picture of curvature from a weather balloon.
You think curvature's the horizon, dickhead? If the horizon was a sphere edge, it would be at 1.22 times the square root of the observer sine feet as laid down in your maths. Your maths that uses surface level and eye level parallel with it. Your maths that uses a flat Earth prerequisite to assert there's a geometric sphere edge below surface level. Yeah, there is no Earth curve, dickhead. Yeah? You think sticking your head in the sand's going to change that? Do you think measuring the angles to the sun off a flat plane in a presupposed bottom of the ball scenario in Antarctica is going to change how freaking flat we all measure Earth? No, you're a dumbo. Sticking your head in the sand and pretending the horizon's Earth curve isn't going to change the facts in the matter. Your Earth curve fantasy is based on flat Earth measurements of surface level. The same surface level the height of this stupid idiot's experiment will be.
What camera and lens would you accept for that experiment?
You can... It's not an experiment. You're a fraud, Duffy. That's all there is to it. You're a fraud. There is no experiment. There is no cause and effect reasoning being established by actualization of hypothesis. This isn't science. You are a fraud. Reverse engineer through something called have-a-sign conversion. Handsome sounding man. Version. The points on the ground with respect to the plane you measured for the angles into points on a ball radius 3959. That's what this inside is. But it's completely surplus to requirements. You can't acquire any of the angles to the stars from the surface of this ball. All of the angles are represented from the plane that they originally came from to measure them, to create the ball inside. Ergo, when I keep saying the globe Earth relies on flat Earth angle measurements as its genesis.
If you actually believe the Earth is flat, you should be ecstatic for this, right?
We've got a name for that this year. We call this the Globe Burger.
And Creaky has raised money to purchase a weather balloon, which he is going to send up to 130,000 feet.
What it actually has is a nice, juicy meat patty known as the flat plane used to measure the angles for the stars wrapped around the outside. Now, that's where you start, yeah? With a flat plane and angle measurements to stars.
Stars are what they actually are, and so there's ample opportunities being missed. When weather balloons with cameras are sent up, there's no curvature to be seen.
That'd be up with respect to a plane, right, Duffy? You don't have up on a ball. You only have out, you stupid numpty. Stop using words that require a flat Earth to pretend you're debunking a flat Earth. It's just stupid.
Great.
How profound. Stars are what they are, so therefore opportunities missed. And yet, me saying go out and have a look at them is about as useful as you go and having a look at the sun in Antarctica when it comes to your reification of your globe paradigm.
I'm also going to personally email the flat earthers that I originally invited to participate in TFE. Then you can head over to Jeranism and see a massive SpaceX rocket hidden behind the curve of the Earth.
No, the curve of the Earth is dictated in your maths at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Now, the observer's height in feet, that's Earth curve maths, is off surface level. That's how the height is measured. Creaky's going to frickin' know about this because he's not going to air anything. I've immediately debunked Creaky. So his curve that he's sending up, the E on the end being experiment, is fraud that measures Earth flat. So that's all Creaky's going to hear about it, non-stop. Are you still measuring the height of your curve off a flat plane there, Creaky dum-dum? Yeah, that's all he's going to hear about it, Duffy.
But even if that doesn't convince you...
So what's going to convince me is you and Creaky measuring a flat plane. That's not really going to do anything for me. I already knew it was measured flat. You guys going out telling me, oh, we're going to end this flat Earth thing by measuring Earth flat. That's not really going to end anything either.
Then let me know what lens Creaky needs to use for...
I'm sorry, Nathan.
Go ahead.
He's going to end it by where we started? Like, trying to send balloons up to I don't know, picture the curvature, to capture the curvature? Really? Is that what he's doing? I missed like the first few minutes.
Yes, he's going to send a balloon up with respect to a plane surface, perpendicular to it. That's what up is.
What are we in 2016?
Yeah, Creaky also thinks he can call this an experiment. What he knows is they are directed in every single inquisitive person's search results to them. So this is just a money-making endeavour. This will make them money. Creaky, he's a crackhead. He's an idiot. Yeah, he's got 100,000 subs that will all contribute to him paying his way, unlike me, with YouTube ad revenue. Because people are being told, with a fraud's words, that they're going to go and have the flat Earth notion knocked out by a measurement of height off a surface level that's flat, perpendicular to it when going up. These people are idiots, frauds, and they're just basically eating our lunch, because we're censored to all hell, while they get every click.
On top of that, it shows how they're not in congruence with their own mainstream high priest, because their own mainstream high priest says you can't see curvature from at least 128,000 feet, which is about, I don't know, 23, 24 miles. And as a matter of fact, he's got another video where he says at 63 miles, you can't see the curvature. Now, I don't know if he messed up on that one, because the lady just threw 63 miles at him, and he just continued to say the same nonsense that you can't see it from there. But yet,
You can't see it from the height of. You can't see it from the ISS either.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we'll just ask Creaky, as Creaky's taking this under his belt, right? Yo, Creaky, you stupid clown. Got a bit of a continuity error. Neil deGrasse Tyson says that stuff is flat, you don't see curve from the ISS. You say you're going to put an end to it with an experiment that will see curve. Meanwhile, Earth curve is dictated in your Earth curve maths. The clue is in the title. It's at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, and was debunked in 2025 by the Black Swan. If the Earth was a sphere, radius 3959 miles, every distance to horizon could be no more than 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, as laid down in Earth curve maths. Distance to horizon in the Black Swan beyond the limitations geometrically laid down by the maths, therefore the horizon is not Earth curve. The Earth is not a sphere, and the claim that it was in those maths required you measured your height off surface level. A bit like Creaky's going to be doing when he describes his height off sea level with a drone. So square whether or not you'll be seeing it with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and stop using up and flat Earth heights off sea level.
I gotta make this quick. So I heard Neil deGrasse Tyson say it before. However, I have not since been able to find that video specifically. Only the one where he talks about you can't see above this beach ball. So he's talking about when they went up. When that guy went up in the balloon. But Paul Larson, planetarium director, did say in an Eratosthenes presentation that you couldn't see it from the ISS. So that was specifically Paul Larson.
Yeah, you need to get that figured out. Meanwhile, I'm not trying to undermine your point. And yes, they absolutely need to square that circle.
No, you have to, because you said it. And that's the thing they're going to pick up on and say, see, he's a lawyer. So I need to come back on this same show and let you know that specifically it's Paul Larson, planetarium director. Don't say it's Neil deGrasse Tyson unless we can find that citation.
Fair enough. Neil deGrasse Tyson just says that stuff is flat. You're not going to see it from 2 millimeters off this beach ball. And by scale, it's equivalent to the ISS. So, yeah, I get what you're saying. But what I'm saying is something totally different. I don't want to undermine your point that they need to square that circle, because there's conflicting accounts in their narrative. One is that you won't see curve from the height of the ISS. The other is that you see it at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, as saith the Earth curve maths. Meanwhile, their Earth curve maths requires surface level to be level, and requires eye level to be parallel with surface level, so you can calculate your height of eye above it, to then assert that there's Earth curve below it that we debunked in 2020. So this is riddled. And he is simply describing the height of a drone off a flat Earth when he says he goes up from the surface. Up is only capable of description perpendicular to a plane of reference. Same one he's using for height. Stop using flat Earth measurements, you bunch of clowns on the globe side. It's not going to shut us up. It's going to get you shouted at. In fact, let's make a meeting. Let's get Creaky Blinder and his contact information so I can tell him off. Creaky, I'm going to put this out, and I'll just say I've invited you. I'll use the same standard Duffy does. I'll suggest that me saying this verbally on my show is akin to a back and forth email exchange that Duffy's never going to be able to show in terms of some invite I haven't turned down. But take this as me absolutely without question by the standards of Duffy, inviting Creaky to justify his use of a flat Earth measurement of height in his non-experiment fraud. So Duffy seemed to think that he could imply that I was invited without actually doing anything or explaining anything to me or inviting me or having me turn anything down. No email exchange between Duffy and myself will ever be presented because there isn't one. He's just a liar. But I can do the same thing, right? Talk about it on a live show and say Creaky has now been, I mean, it's been a good 5 minutes, right? He's been invited to justify his use of flat Earth measurements. I'm calling out Creaky as a fraud using flat Earth measurements. I'm going to say those words again because I want them passed on to him. So he can come here and justify his use of flat Earth measurements. In fact, I'll preemptively take away his Nathan's got a mute button. I'll meet you wherever the hell you like, Creaky. Any platform. And demand justification for your use of height off sea level, claiming it's an, quote, experiment, making you a fraud. Let's make this explicitly clear so there's no doubt in anyone's mind what I'm saying. Creaky is a fraud because he's claiming an experiment and measuring Earth flat. Make sure Creaky knows about it, because I'm calling him out and I'm saying I'll meet him wherever he likes to justify why he's using flat Earth measurements and fraudulently calling them scientific experimentation. They're not. They're proof of a flat Earth if you measure how high something is off a plane of reference at sea level. I'm also telling him to stop doing it. Yeah, I'm calling you out and saying, don't do that, Creaky, you stupid crackhead. Don't use flat Earth measurements of height off sea level. How dare you suggest in any way, shape or form that it's going to shut me up? On the contrary, I'm calling you out and saying I'll meet you anywhere to demand justification for your flat Earth measurements. Height off sea level? No. You don't get to use flat Earth measurements anymore, you fraud dickhead. And I'll be shouting at you for it. Anywhere you choose to meet me, you abject coward. You don't want to come here, you pathetic weasel of a coward. I'll meet you wherever you like. To tell you off. Shut me down, you think, dickhead? No. It'll get you shouted at for using flat Earth measurements. It'll get you called a fraud. It'll get me chasing you down for being so. Okay? Shut me up. No, I'm shouting louder than ever. Can you not hear me? Make sure he knows about it, because this, by Duffy's standard, is an official invitation. And if he doesn't meet me here, then he's obviously turning down by cowardice and fraudulent endeavours his use of flat Earth measurements and conceding those facts. I'll just use the Duffy standards he's used on me. Why not? I mean, it's been at least 3 or 4 minutes now, so by that standard, Creaky turned down an open invitation to justify his fraud and use of flat Earth measurements. Didn't he, ladies and gentlemen? By Duffy standards, Creaky's already turned me down. Hasn't he? What a coward. He already knows he's using a flat Earth and measuring it as such. Or he'd have faced me rather than turning me down in my gracious endeavours to invite him to justify his use of a flat Earth when suggesting he'd be shutting me up. No, it had the opposite effect, didn't it, Creaky? I'm shouting louder than ever, mate. How you are a fraud. Hey, Refracted.
No, I'll
Can I
be
inject one
looking
thing?
very
sorry.
forward to him debunking his own high priest. Because if your high priest is telling you you can't see curvature from that height, and you're going to do it, oh, that's going to be a big brouhaha in your little mainstream paradigm, isn't there? Can't wait to see you go toe to toe with Smoking and Grass Tyson, Mr. Creaky, whatever.
Whoever was going, mic check, check. Yes, we hear you.
I was just going to add, I think I've had dealings with Duffy for over a year, and his tactic on this is going to be to focus on forcing all the flat earthers to choose which lens he's going to use that they will accept, and that way pigeonhole them into that and arguing about that, as opposed to doing what you're doing and what I'm going to do, which is basically tell him he's measuring the Earth flat. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, there's no lenses in the Earth curve mathematics. If he's suggesting that he's looking at Earth curves, then where's the lens suggestion in Earth curve maths? There isn't one. It's perspective hijacking. The angular size isn't accounted for in Earth curve maths. The distance to whatever target you're looking at below surface level that must be measured flat doesn't change in size. So if you're looking at a 10-foot building, it remains 10 foot at 10 miles, 100 miles, million miles, 10 million miles. It's still 10 feet. And in their Earth curve mathematics, if you draw a straight line between target and observer at 10 million miles, it's still visible. So why is he asking about lenses when he's begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve maths comes with angular sizes that are relevant? Now, I'm thinking not, Duffy. There's no angular resolution, there's no Rayleigh criterion, there's no diffraction limits in Earth curve maths. Only a target that doesn't change in size. Do your lenses account for this? Angular size that is non-existent in Earth curve maths because your buildings remain the same feet or meters size at all distances. You stupid idiot. Are you mathematically illiterate? Do you not understand how your own maths of Earth curve that was debunked by the Black Swan in 2020 works? You're going to start asking about lenses? Oh, really? I didn't know we had to put f-stop into Earth curve maths.
Problem is that the way he's going to get away with that is because the main arguments from flat earthers so far have just been fisheye lens. Red Bull had the fisheye lens. You could see the Earth curve, and I've even shown people the still shot from inside the cabin where he's looking straight out at the horizon, and people still say, "Oh, he's looking down at it still," and so when you're only presented with the argument that fisheye lenses, NASA fisheye lenses, they're just using fisheye lenses, that is literally the only thing that Duffy's focusing on. And unfortunately, the majority of flat Earth believers are falling for that.
Yeah, I get it. What you're saying is Duffy will only deal with the shit for brains retards who say fisheye lenses, as opposed to us who would say, sorry, your maths that suggests you've got an Earth curve requires you measure your height parallel eye level with respect to surface level. You need a flat Earth for this. That's what we say. What's that fisheye lens? I couldn't give a shit. None of this directly relates to physical reality. We're looking at the side of our own heads in a mathematical conception that has surface level measured. So we're going to need a surface level. Yeah, that's going to be me yelling at Duffy if he's going to assert that we are looking at Earth curve. What's Earth curve? Let's get down to brass tacks here. Let's see where Earth curve gets shown. Oh, in this maths. With a surface level labelled surface level and an eye level parallel with it. Oh, so we're definitely going to be doing a differential between surface level and eye level, both flat. They must be, or they wouldn't be parallel. And the angle, that's a straight line, that we will be claiming to be measuring is derived from parallel eye level and our height measured off sea level. Yeah, we're going to need quite a few flat Earth prerequisites for this, you shit for brains retard, Duffy, clown, who can only attack the lowest of hanging fruit. Yeah, you've dealt with Jaren and the retards up and down. Jaren's not a flat earther anymore, is he? So, yeah, that retard's ticked off your list. Now you'll have to deal with me, Duffy. Not pretend that you've communicated with me and I've turned down some trip that you invited me along to. No, mate, you haven't done that. We haven't communicated. All I ever did was ask you, in a comment on a YouTube video, for your hypothesis that you didn't have for your last fraud. That's it. That's our only communication ever. But you haven't got Jaren anymore. It's me. I am the flat earther when it comes to this shit now. So what are you going to do? Ignore me and deal with people who talk about fisheye lenses? Now deal with the flat earth in your own maths that asserts you've got earth curve. If you're asserting it, you'll need that maths. And I'll be jabbing my finger on the bit that says surface level. What, are you going to tell me it bends? No, surface level bends. How the fuck is it going to be parallel with eye level? How are you going to measure it off sea level then? You're not. You'll need a flat earth for those things, Duffy. That's what we have here. Yeah? Now, we have invited the almighty experimentally valid, according to you, Creaky, quite some time ago. It was at least 10 minutes ago. He turned down my gracious invitation because he's a coward who knows he needs a flat earth to measure his height off. So, Creaky, your guy that you're suddenly calling out, he is a coward. He didn't come along when I invited him. He turned me down. Duffy, by your standards. Now, I'll provide the absolute fact that I was told by Creaky that he didn't want to come because he knew he'd have to measure a flat earth. I'll provide those proof and facts for the statement I've just made. That's that Creaky has already conceded to me in email that he knows he's measuring earth flat with his heights. He knows he's a fraud. Yeah, he took a cue from you. He told me in an email that I'll provide the moment Duffy provides his communication with me when he lied about me turning down an invite. So Creaky has already confessed to this. I'll show it when Duffy shows the truth about how I turned down a ticket that he invited me along with. That communication will be provided alongside the absolute facts that we've got a coward in our midst, not someone who knows he's got an experiment. Creaky's already told me via email, Duffy, that he knows he's got to measure Earth flat. You understand what's going on, Duffy? Yeah? I'm laying down an unreasonable standard where your man is discredited because of his email to me when he turned down my invite to justify his use of a flat Earth measurement. He already knew he was a fraud. He told me all about it in that email exchange. Very similar to the email exchange I had with you, Duffy. That non-existent email exchange that you lean into when you say, I've turned something down. Yeah, well, Creaky's already admitted defeat. Are you really going to get behind someone who's already admitted defeat to a flat earther? That's me in the email exchange that Creaky and I had, where he admitted he knew heights were off sea level. He knew because the clue was in the title, sea level. He knew he had to fraud this audience just like you did, so he thought he'd get away with using the word experiment and frauding his audience like you did. He told me all about how he knew you were a fraud and just took his fraudulent lead from you in our email exchange when he turned down my gracious invite. Just like apparently I did with you, Duffy. We'll get all of these emails on the table, won't we, Duffy? Yeah? Yeah, but your man's already discredited. He knows he's measuring the height off sea level, Duffy. So I don't know why you're backing this fraud. He's already confessed his defeat to me, a flat earther. Did you not know? Did Creaky not tell you about our email exchange where he admitted he knew Earth's flat? Oh, I did not mention that. Creaky also admitted he's a flat earther in that email exchange. He said, quote, I know Earth's flat. I just know I can get away with fraud. Like Duffy did. End quote, Creaky. It's in an email exchange that I'll lay down on the table and prove when you prove our email exchange where I turned down some free ticket you suggested I've been offered and turned down. Lies that Duffy has told his audience. But I'm just going to discredit his man who's already admitted to knowing Earth's flat. Creaky's already admitted it, Duffy. So why are you backing this horse who knows Earth's flat? Don't you, Creaky, like you told me in that email exchange we had? Right, that's all clear from my audience. Let Creaky know. Why did you turn down Nathan's invite to justify your flat Earth measurement? He's calling you a coward and a fraud. He said you told him you knew Earth was flat in an email exchange, akin to and very similar to Duffy's email exchange, where Nathan apparently turned down an invite. It's not just an egregious lie made up by a man who's a fraud.
Project Curve.
Duffy, that is.
And I will do everything in my power to make that a reality.
What kind of reality are we talking, Duffy? Like measurements of a flat plane, like the angles that you made a reality? The elevation angles proving a flat Earth was measured in Antarctica? You're going to make that a reality? Wow, I can't wait.
He's about to get on camera something we're told is too big to measure. Can't wait to see that.
We shall see. Any more for any more? We're coming up on the hour. I haven't got a link to send people to Creaky. I don't care. I mean, I've got everything I needed in the email exchange where I put out a really generous offer to Creaky to explain why he knew Earth was flat. And I put that to him in our email exchange. I said, Duffy, obviously he's going to get away with this kind of fraud. He's, more akin to being a fraud than you are, Creaky. But why are you trying it on? You know, don't you, Creaky, that you're measuring Earth off surface level for the height, right? And Creaky replied, I know Earth's flat. My name's Creaky and I know I'm frauding everybody. So ask him why you tell Nathan you know you're frauding everybody with flat Earth measurements that could only affirm the Earth's flat. Yeah, I'll turn these emails over to everyone, of course, as soon as we see the emails that have been exchanged between myself and Duffy. Only reasonable. Hey, QE. Did you hear? Duffy's got behind somebody who's already confessed that he knows Earth's flat. To me, personally, in an email exchange, after turning down a gracious invite to justify his use of flat Earth measurements. That's Creaky. Creaky turned to the flat Earth in an email exchange with me. Did you know that? Now he's out frauding people. Who'd have thunk it? Is that what you've got to say about this nonsense waffle?
Good morning.
Good morning. We're going to be doing the book, so I'm going to round out. I've already preemptively told my audience it's going to be a slightly shorter show than normal, so this live show is going to end at the same time as the Uncut and After show, so to speak. So if anybody's got anything they want to plug, mention, now's your time, because I'm going to be rounding out very shortly. No? Okay, well, I'll do a plug then if no one's going to say anything. What we were watching wasn't Creaky or Duffy. It was actually Fisherman in a Box. Fisherman in a Box. So go and check him out. His link is whizzing its way by in the live stream audience right now. So if you're amongst the 90 people who are watching, please go and subscribe to Fisherman in a Box. Fisherman in a Box. Daily content. And you'll enjoy it, and give him a like and let him know we've covered his video today. I'm sure he'll be appreciative of all the comments and subscribers and likes and all the rest of the good stuff that I'm sure you'll all give him when you get there. So yeah, please let him know. As I say, there is a link to Fisherman in a Box running by in the live stream chat now. So send some love.
I got to take that back when I've been saying that we're all alone. He's like-minded. So at least we got him lined up with us.
Who? Fisherman in a Box? Yeah, he likes us. For whatever reason. Good. Right, any more for any more? Nope. Well, with that, I'm going to say a final thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's pre and live show possible. And, of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, letting Fisherman in a Box know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me, and affirming Creaky's Flat Earth new and true belief that he has confessed to me via email. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.